the sun peeks through the haze. Birds are chirping, serenading morning's praise. Front porch creaks as dreams fade away. America's awakened to a brand new day. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleepy moon. Newsprint smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakened at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore. Morning in America, want just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleepy moon. Newsprint smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakened at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore. Morning in America, wanting just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Tractors rumble, fields coming alive. Big wheels turning where hopes and dreams strive. Laughter echoes down the old dirt road. America's awakened to lighten her load. America's awakened to lighten her load.
Good morning, good morning. I hope you all are doing well. I just got to check here. Did someone? Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, things are going well here. Whew. I've got my sweatshirt on. That might have been a mistake. A little bit warm in here. I just want to check my sound levels and everything. Everything's looking good. Okay. How are you all? We had, if you guys, oh, Jessica, you love the song? Thank you. Yeah. I used AI to create it. I just kind of gave it the themes that I wanted, and yeah, it's it's our own creation here. Oh, you're heading to Dutch Brothers. Very nice, AVA. I was hoping to get the Angry Vet, Kevin, on the show on Tuesday to talk about him in South Carolina uh, essentially being tackled by the police as he was, I believe he was doing something for homeless veterans. So he wasn't breaking the law or anything like that. Oh, I do like. Okay, I do like this. There's a thumbnail I was given. I'm going to use this thumbnail today for at least for YouTube. For Rumble, it's already set up with a thumbnail. But I will set this thumbnail that. Thank you, Wilburns. Get me the thumbnail, and I'll set that up right now. Should be in downloads. Yep, there it is. Okay. Later on tonight, we're going to have on a. I've got another veterans cocktail video going out, so you guys will be able to check that out. That's all set up. I also have a video coming out this weekend, which is just a couple clips of me at The Price is Right. For those of you who've been watching for a while, back in May and June, I went to see The Price is Right twice. And the one time, I've got to go through the other one because the one that you guys are going to see is when we were sat right behind contestants row, and the other one we were set off to the side a little bit. And so you guys will see that because with me behind contestants row, there's a lot of clips. Oh, that can wait. Got people send me stuff that I know what it is. It's not important. I don't know what you guys want to talk about this morning. There's actually a lot happening. I watched Megan and Tug stream last night. They were talking about me and the lawyer trying to get this channel taken down. Want to do a stream Sunday night? I do. However, I will not be in town this weekend. I should be back by Sunday night. So it depends on what time you want to do it. So that's where that's sitting right now. I haven't heard from Spawn Trooper this morning. Good morning, Paul. I'm gonna send him a quick note to see if because he normally wants to come on stream with me. Excuse me. I'm not gonna be like the one leech who just coughs right into the microphone. I did laugh that Megan was pointing that out. So TC, it's good to see you here, TC. TC has not been around much because he had a family medical emergency. I hope you're doing well, and everyone, please keep TC in your thoughts and prayers. I will, because of that, he hasn't been able to work. He's been spending a lot of time at the hospital, so I'll probably be doing a small little fundraiser. So TC, he's got lost income, so I'll be setting that up and pushing that out. So if you guys just give a couple bucks towards TC, I would appreciate that, and I know TC and his family would. Um, you know, they're a military family, and it sucks when you're going through a crisis. Ooh, I got a thing here. It looks like Black Friday Restream is going to be 50% off. I'll check and see because I know a lot of people want me to use StreamYard. I'll use StreamYard if it's cheaper, but Restream's always been the cheaper option. Are you going to watch the Tyson fight? Maybe. Really, what it's going to come down to, I'll be traveling. So if I am done traveling when the fight comes on, yes, I will be watching it. And I would say there's a good shot, like 75%. Oh, I bet you're exhausted. I bet. And that's, if you need anything, TC, reach out to us. We will definitely do what we can do to help you. I had to laugh. What is this one? Oh, okay. Yeah, I had to laugh about all the things Tug and uh, and Megan were discussing last night. I sent a couple super chats in of just things I thought was funny. I enjoy just being there, being a shit poster. I really enjoy it. I hope Tyson wins. Okay, now I'm gonna get hate. Now I'm gonna get hate because I'm gonna say some things that people always have a problem with. And I grew up in the Mike Tyson era. Like, he was the big boxer growing up. But and I think he's a great boxer. Don't get me wrong. However, when you look over his career, 90% of the people that Tyson fought were nobodies. Like, people who they didn't do anything. Most of them didn't do anything before they fought him. They didn't do anything after they fought him. So that's why, you always, when you talk about greatest boxers who ever lived, that you always have to mention that. Yeah, he beat Larry Holmes, which was a great win. However, he beat Larry Holmes at the twilight of his career. He beat Michael Spinks, and he did both of those, solidly. Uh, he he was disqualified against Evander Holyfield, and he kind of fought Vander Holyfield late. Um, he didn't fight Lennox Lewis in the prime of either of their careers. So those to me are the four big fights that Tyson had. And, you know, I don't think really, other than Spinks, I don't think any of them came against a great fighter in their prime. Uh, so, I when you talk about that, I think it's a little bit diminished. But these people, they talk about how tough he is and how he knocked everyone out. um, yeah, he did fight Mayweather, but again, twilight of his career, not when he was at his peak. And a lot of people blame Don King about that, but you know, you look at other great fighters like Muhammad Ali, he was fighting the top guys in his prime, in their prime. He really was. Yeah, probably the only one that you can say that he didn't fight in his prime was Joe Louis. And Joe Louis was older, but he fought George Foreman in his prime. He fought Larry Holmes in his prime. So you know, you just always have to mention that. People get so mad when I talk about that with Tyson. But I always ask him, who do you think was great? Peter McNeely? Come on, come on. It's a pay-per-view event. It is a pay-per-view event, but I do IPTV and I pay for stuff so I can watch it on my phone. So even if I'm traveling, I might be able to watch it as long as I have service. He's trying to chat on Shizzy's live now. Oh shit! Yeah, Shizzy is. I excuse me with my voice being scratchy. Shizzy is very smart. He is using bubbles for the likes, absolutely, and good on him. Good on him. Bubbles is a dummy, does not realize he's being played. Um, because Bubbles has come after me, I've had my discussions with my lawyer, and he's like, "Do block the guy from your channel, stay away from him." He's like, "If you can avoid talking about him, avoid it." But he's involved in the case, and you guys bring him up. So I don't bring him up. I try not to bring him up. Like you won't see a bubble show from here anymore. If there's something happening that he is a part of, I will have to talk about it. But I it's nothing that I really want to discuss. I do want to change something of my design here. Hold on. Uh, really? There we go. I couldn't figure out why it wasn't doing my color. There you go. You guys didn't need to hear all that. Yes, Megan on in there discussing her article. Yep. I really, I did. So I didn't realize her tweet went viral. I did see the tweet. I did comment on it, and it. Yeah, a lot of she's absolutely right. A lot of the people were losing their mind over something that you don't need to lose their mind over. It's not her for people on the right. It's not her place to out the professor and put her daughter in a bad spot. It's not um, the people on the left who were discounting that it even happened. It's like, what do you have to say that? Like, she's a journalist. Her credibility is out there. And, like I've said, I was not watching Megan a year ago. I have read her articles when after she got into the Jeremy Hales thing. I started going through and I was like, oh yeah, I have read some of her stuff. Pajamas Media. I've been reading Pajamas Media since at least 2005, like 2005, 2006, at least. Um, and that's when they started coming onto the place kind of big. Um, yeah, her articles are good, very well researched. I so it's funny that the, the leeches are doing what they're doing. Hold on, I do have, maybe I can pull up a picture of the leeches. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. Here's the two leeches on their mobility scooters. I had fun with that. So I was making that as I was listening to Megan and Tug last night. I you know we went to, man, it's been 2 years, 2 or 3 years since we went to Disney World, and like I couldn't get over the people at Disney World. Like there was like clearly a family, no kids, all adults, all on their mobility scooters in line to the one thing. And like as we're sitting there, my mom kind of looked at me and I'm like, I I'm thinking the same thing you are, like, oh my God, they've got their mobility scooters. And then they started like reaching in their back thing and they all brought snacks and they were all like all not morbidly obese, but all obese. And it's like, this is why, you have all these health problems because of your weight. You're having the weight problems because you're not walking. You should be walking and not eating like these crappy snacks. And I just laugh because, it's like you are your own worst enemy. Can I ask a question? Or didn't the fleas say that the fence was going to be really tall because no one is because that one is not even as tall as Mary's Sim? I would not even say it's a privacy fence. I don't know if they said it was going to be really tall. I did. They did call it a privacy fence. I would call it a privacy fence. Um, 6 foot is kind of your standard privacy fence. Uh, I'm laughing about it. I do find it hilarious. Um, they're gonna need volunteers to put it up, and let me just say, I there's people I know in Florida who've been follow. They watch me and they've been following, and they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna go there to help put it up," and I'm like, "Oh my God, that's gonna be hilarious." Um, there are people like they don't have a permit. They don't need a permit. There are people saying that, well, if they did it any taller, Levy County, there's things that no one's going to hold them to it. Levy County doesn't enforce its own laws when people have guns pointed at them. Do you think they're going to enforce an 8 foot high fence? No, they're not. And that's what you get with corrupt government. They don't follow their own laws. And that's why we need to out corrupt government whenever we can. Um, I'm gonna pull up Shizzy Wiznut on my computer. I just want to see. And if you guys aren't subscribed to Shizzy Wiznut, you should. He does his morning whiz and coffee, which is hilarious. Uh, just too funny. Yeah. So okay, they're talking about. Yeah, they're talking about her article. I'm looking. Is he in the? Is he in the chat? I'm looking here. Yeah, I don't see. I don't see anything in there yet, but I'm gonna keep it up and keep monitoring it because yeah, that's funny if Bubbles is in there. Um, Sorry, I'm just sending something off there. Ooh, there is breaking news, folks. The thumbnail case. The thumbnail case has an update here. Order denying motion for reconsideration of denial of evidentiary hearing. Uh, this cause is before the court. Motion for reconsideration. Um, for Jeremy Hales, Martha, Larry Foreman. The motion for reconsideration alleges the court erred in its failing to grant defendants a hearing on their Rule 1.15 motion to strike sham pleading such as procedure they propose is required by law. Upon consideration of the argument, the law cited in their motion, the court finds reconsideration of the ruling denying hearing is not warranted, as such denial was based on the legal insufficiency of defendant's motion, invocation of the authority vested in the court by Florida Rule of Civil Procedure 1.15. Um, so that would have been Larry Foreman's motion. Um, what is this? So it's certificate of service, and it's got TAT on here. So I'm wondering. It looks like they're serving TAT via uh, Randy Shockett. So I don't know. Okay, sorry. We've got people in the background. We are doing a fundraiser for TC. We're in the background trying to get it set up. I was gonna do it, but um, Wilburns are setting it up right now. It looks like I don't know. Um, I do appreciate it. We just at the end of the day, we just want to get things done. But if I need to set it up, I can do it through Veteran Nation because we are a 501c3, so we can set it up, and it is for a veteran and his family, so that's perfectly legal. Um, Wilburns, if you want to set it up through Veteran Nation, if you need a copy of our 501c3 paperwork, if you are uncomfortable and want me to do it, that's fine. I've got no problem setting it up. I do understand for a lot of these things, some people are like, I don't know what to do, and it's you know, I like it's something that I stated we are doing through Veteran Nation, so it's covered. Um, so yeah, if you need that paperwork, or if you just want me to do it, you can. Oh, Kitty's coming in here. What are you doing, Kitty? You gonna jump up here? Come on, you coming up there? Well, figure it out because I'm drinking my coffee. Arr. Kitty tail, what are you doing? Hmm? I watched was I was watching a video yesterday of a German Shepherd playing with the leaves on Twitter, and I had to tag Megan Fox because she's got her German Shepherd, and German Shepherds are pretty fun. I've never had one. I'm not in. It's been a long time since I've been in a place to have big dogs. So that's why I don't have a big dog. I really would love to have a Newfie, but I live out here in the desert. Newfies have a lot of hair. They're very big. This would not be an ideal situation for a Newfie, but one day, one day, I need to start making fundraisers. Airsoft ain't cheap. Travel expenses are hard from coast to coast. Um, See, fundraisers are okay. Um, what I would do if I were you, now every one of you guys, every single one of you, thanks. I got cat hair in my mouth now. I can't get it out. Ugh. Um, what I would do if I were you, first off, start yourself an LLC. Everybody should have an LLC. It's a great way to protect your stuff. If if you have an LLC, it's limited liability, meaning if you get sued, if your car is in the LLC's name, and you can use a business car for personal stuff, you just have to, make sure that it's primarily for business. If you get into an accident, they're going to sue your LLC and not you, because you can be like, no, that's my business's car. Um, you should be doing things like you should be for things that would support your business. And here's the thing, what is your business? You can Your business can simply be for market research. You can literally set up a business for market research. What is market research? Well, I'm looking at ways where I can personally make money. That's a business. It's perfectly legal to do. Every rich person, every single one has a business, at least an LLC, sometimes a corporation, or a trust. And a trust is essentially a business. Uh, every single one of you should have one. And if you had one, and yeah, if you had one, then you can sell things. Sell things to support, like AVA wants to support your airsoft, you know, and go by what skill you have. Like the from the Batman thing. If you can do something, and my dad taught me, if you can do something, never do it for free. Find out what you're good at. I have in the past offered people tax services because I do my own taxes. I've been trained by some people on how to essentially do it. I do have people, if I have questions that I can go to, I am not an accountant, but I have told people, look, I'll help you. I'll help you file your own taxes. I won't do your taxes. I will go through all your stuff, take a look at it, and give you advice that an accountant should be giving you. But I've gone to an accountant, gone to tax preparers and accountants, and they did not give me. And when I realized how much money I was leaving on the table, I was like, "Oh my god, I should like this is almost criminal." But it's just, when you go to a tax preparer, they're just going to make sure that you filled all the lines out that you need to, and that you're done, and everything adds up. That's all they're doing. They're not going to talk to you about things that you can do to reduce your tax liability. So I've offered those services for donations in the past. Uh, if anyone wants a federal job, you know I can help you with a federal resume. A federal resume is not like a civilian resume. And I've told people, look, you donate to Veteran Nation Foundation, I'll help you with that. So those are services I can provide. So you should be looking at services you can provide. Additionally, when you sell things, you should be selling things, under a business. Again, if you sell like a bed or something and then it breaks, they'll come back and sue you. But if you sell it through your business and you're giving receipts, then you have that limited liability type of things. And it's just a very smart um it's just a very smart way to operate. And, you know, th- I find most people who are, in need of money just aren't using their brain, engaging their brain as to how can I make money? Like they think, well, I need to make more money at my job. Most people you find they have enough money to survive, but people are fish in a fishbowl. If this is my budget and you drop me in, and I'm a little fish and I've got this big budget, most people are going to grow to that their bowl, like how a goldfish will. It'll grow to this, and then if you put them in a bigger bowl, they'll grow to that. And what people tend to do is tend to just outgrow it to where they're living paycheck to paycheck and in debt. And that's why you want to, and I'm going all Dave Ramsey on you guys, but when you get a raise at work or something, first thing they always say, "Oh, pay yourself first." And people don't know what that means. What you should do is when you get paid or when you get a promotion, start putting some of that money, just a little bit, even if it's only $5, put it into savings. So then you have more money for yourself, but mainly, and you always want to have an emergency fund. I did learn that from Dave Ramsey and others. My parents always had an emergency fund. It was never the biggest thing, and if you can only do $100, do $100. But you want to always have that because emergencies will happen. And oh, thank you, Dwayne. Thank you. Um, yeah, so yeah, you want to do things like that to make sure that you are all set. But you know, and I'm always open to, like, I'm not into get rich quick stuff. But I am open to solid investment. That's why I said yesterday, I think Otter Creek has potential. I think what Jeremy's doing with the schoolhouse has a lot of potential, and he's realizing that potential. If there was an investment group that came together and said, "Hey, we want to invest in Otter Creek," and if someone came up with a plan, I would be. I'm not in Florida, so I can't execute it, but I would definitely be a supporter and would probably buy in. Um, and be down for that. Anyone wants to do any other type of investment, I'm open to stuff. I will listen. Um, oh God, what is this? Someone send me something. Ooh, wind is kicking outside. It's gonna be a cold day, I can tell. That's why I put this on, and then when I threw it on, I was like, oh, it's kind of warm. Maybe it's too warm in here for wearing this. Just looking at what people have here. Uh, so yeah, yeah. So in Pennsylvania, they're recounting the votes, but uh, there's a place in what county is it? Is it Bucks County? Where they're trying to count a bunch of ballots that weren't counted before. Um, where is it at here? Tell me the county. It's ballots that weren't signed, dated right. Bucks County. Okay, yeah, Bucks County. They're trying to. There's a bunch of provisional ballots that weren't signed or dated properly that were not counted that they're trying to have counted. Um, and the commissioners voted to count them, and that's like there's already courts who said do not count these. Um, so yeah, that's where the battle is now, and people freaking out about Matt Gates. It is what it is. Trump gets to pick who he wants, and unless if you have something, you need to have a legitimate reason to say no. So I think Gates will be confirmed. I have talked to you about getting help with the store. Are you going AVA? Are you going forward with the store? Let me know. Uh, I there are things I think are smart about it. Um, that won't help come out any. Well, that's the thing. They're trying to flip Pennsylvania after the fact, is what they're trying to do. Things like that have happened in the past, but you know there's already a court ruling, so I don't think they'll be successful at counting these ballots. Um, but that's why the Republican Party, before, the Republican Party wouldn't put the money to the lawyers for these fights, and that's how Al Franken got elected. Was he had lost his Senate race, and then they did this exact same thing. They found all these ballots that had not been counted and said, "Oh, we want these counted." Um, so that we've said it before. I'm gonna go get more coffee. So I'll be right back. Okay, we are back. Okay, yeah. AVA, I'm interested. Um, in fact, I was talking about some brick and mortar business things here yesterday. Will they happen? I don't know, but I'll tell you the one I've done things about before, coffee. You guys, like I I think a coffee shop here would do well, and uh I've looked at several, or we've done business plans that I think would be solid. Snow coming to Sweden. I well, I grew up in the snow. I don't mind the snow. I don't want to live in it day to day anymore. But I am right now looking at coming back to Europe though. I want to go back to the UK. I've got some friends there. We're talking about some plans of coming there. Um, so will I have any other stops? I don't know. Maybe. I need to find out ways to find cheap flights to at least to the UK. I did hear that there's ways to do a layover in Iceland. So I thought that was pretty cool. And I'm tentatively starting to just dip my foot in to look at prices of flights. The viewer map, I do need to update the viewer map. I do. I haven't done it in a while. So yeah, I do have my list. So I'll be doing that. The only thing is when I update it, everybody then responds with all new places, and it kind of gives me more work, and I'm lazy. Oh, thank you, Malin. Uh, I would love to visit Sweden. Um, my my son is uh one half Norwegian, not from my side of the family. Uh and he's a cute little redhead, and he's now to the age he started his international travel, and we're we've talked about international travel before, so we want to start that. I think a lot of Americans don't travel internationally, and I think they miss out on a lot. But America's so big that when they travel, they normally travel within the U.S. Like we're already talking about going to South Carolina this year, and that will be uh, it'll be a good trip. I've been to South Carolina before, but I really want to take uh, my son and nephew to see Paris Island, South Carolina. So, and they're really into um, history, so we'll probably see some Civil War sites and stuff like that. Copenhagen Airport to my house is 45 minutes. I've been through that airport. I have been in your area before. It was with a layover, but I've been there. Maybe I'll look and see, because when I went to the UK last time, I had to fly from London to Copenhagen, Copenhagen to LA. That was my route. So maybe if I get a route like that, maybe I'll stop in Copenhagen and yeah, I'm gonna try to watch the Tyson fight. It's tonight. It's tonight. Um, it's funny you mentioned Scotland. If I go to the UK, I told my friends that's what I want to do. They got married in Scotland, and yeah, I'm double checking, but yeah, Tyson versus Paul is tonight. Um, yeah, Friday, November 15th. So yeah. I want to check the time. Uh, 8 p.m. Eastern. So that means it's going to be 5 p.m. here, which that will be while I'm driving. So hopefully I have service because then I'll watch it. Yeah, there you go, Snowbird. And everyone, we do need to pray for Yoda. Yoda, he's been sick. So, we need to pray for him. I need to ask him if we're doing a thing for TC, we should probably ask Yoda if he needs anything. Do a live stream for what? If I go to Scotland? Uh, the Lincoln Riley case is started. They're making their opening statements right now. Lincoln Riley. Did I say Lincoln? I'm sorry if I did. Uh, my husband's dream is to visit Ireland. You can actually live in Ireland. You can get paid to live in Ireland. There's a couple islands that they want populated, and as long as you buy a house there and maintain the house, or fix it up a little bit, they will pay you, and it's like 100,000 euros. So it's good money. But you have to agree to live there for a certain amount of time, and when because I would imagine that my son would not want to leave the U.S. Would not want to leave his mom when he's old enough, you know, to where he doesn't need me around. Because he's getting into his teenage years, and they don't like having mom and dad around. Teenagers are like, please. So when we start hitting that, I'm gonna be like, hey, if I if I might start doing some things remotely to make money. And if that's the case, yeah, I'll consider moving to Ireland if they're gonna pay me to own a place there. Um, don't give him any idea. They would love you in Ireland. Everyone I was only in Ireland for half a day. I was stuck in the Shannon airport. I was heading to Afghanistan, and everyone that I talked to was super nice. Everyone I've ever met from Ireland when I lived overseas was super nice. Tennessee versus Georgia this weekend, huge game. Are you guys Tennessee fans? I would imagine, Brett. I would imagine you being from Virginia that you're a Cavs or a Hokies fan. Um, I grew up an Ohio State fan because I grew up in Toledo. So, like, Toledo's the battleground. It's 50-50 Ohio State and Michigan. But I went to the University of Toledo and I worked for the football team. And that was when Toledo was really good. They're not bad now, but they were really good then. We went to the Ford Motor City Bowl. Our coach ended up he left Toledo and became the coach of Missouri. A couple of the players. Well, the coach of the Bears, Matt Eberflus, he was our linebackers coach when I was there. He was our outside linebackers coach. Good guy, very good guy. Matt, I'm drawing a blank on his name, Matt. Um, and I went to high school. Well, we went to school together, but we went to separate high schools because I went to a private high school. Um, he's now the offensive coordinator for uh, Utah. I'll think of it in a second here. I'm just drawing a quick blank. I'm trying to think. One other guy was that we worked with was defensive coordinator for Florida. He's since left. He went somewhere else. Um, a former coach of Wyoming coach there. Former Hokies, they disappointed so many times. Well, yeah, that's kind of like all the Virginia teams have kind of disappointed, except for basketball. You know, I cheered for UVA when I was in Virginia because we used to go to the games, and they were actually not bad in football when I was there. And we went to a lot of the football games, but we used to watch the basketball games as well. And I'm not a basketball fan, but I do like college basketball, especially during March Madness. In fact, a guy I went to high school with, he was a freshman when I was a senior. His dad became coach of George Mason. He was on the George Mason team when they won the national championship. Weird you can talk about American football. Do you know where the Wildcats play? Depends on which Wildcats. There's several. Kentucky, I know where Kentucky Wildcats play. Um, but there's a couple teams known as the Wildcats. So you'll have to narrow it down for me. I was an Alabama fan. My hubby converted me to the Vols. That's a bad one right there. That would be like me converting a woman from Michigan to Ohio State. Oh, that's does not happen. No, that's a rivalry. They hate each other. They're supposed to hate each other. Um, yeah, and what's funny is I went to I did 4 years at the University of Toledo. I didn't graduate from there because I changed my major. I was an engineering major, and I was like, "Yeah, like it was just too easy for me." And I was like, I'm not gonna do this the rest of my life." So then I switched my major to undecided. Then I enlisted in the Marine Corps, and while I was in the Marine Corps, I applied for a commissioning program, and I sucked at writing, and I knew I sucked at writing. So I was like, you know what? I need to be a better writer. And that's why I switched to journalism. And because I knew as an officer, I'd write all the time. So it made me a much better writer. Uh, I just needed a lot of practice. And, it's funny because my kid is the same way. Math and science come easy to him. His hardest class is English. And I'm like, yep, you're your dad's son. I was like, just don't don't avoid writing or reading. Take um Well, Skip, TC, we can help both of you. I don't know if he needs help. I just know he's sick with pneumonia, is what I was told. So we'll help everyone. We'll help everyone that we can. I was really moved when the running back for Tennessee interviewed and have glory to God right away. Just don't see that enough. Yeah, that's people used to attack Tim Tebow. Now I'm not like a Tebow fan, but I never hated the guy, and they had a problem with him praying. And I'm like, so you have a problem with people taking a knee to pray, but not taking a knee to protest the national anthem. That was my thing. I was like I'm all about consistency and stuff like that. Um, so yeah, I don't see what a problem like if there was a Muslim student who faced east and you know knelt down to pray, I would have no problem with it. It you know, i- that's your faith. Would I do that? Would I take a knee and pray? Probably not. Um, but you know, people they express their faith in different ways. Tennessee has gotten so much better in the last few years, and it beat Bama a couple times. That's true. There's just something about old Rocky Top that soothes my soul. And what's funny is the song Rocky Top was written by two brothers in Gatlinburg about a peak that they could see, and there's some discrepancy. They think Rocky Top actually might be in North Carolina because the Rocky Top of the mountain that they were singing about may have, like, some people think it. We can't prove it because the guys I believe are dead. But yeah, but that's still funny. It's a great song. I love that song. I love college football traditions. I love college football traditions. Rocky Top singing that I think is a great one. Um, we played Marshall, and I hate Marshall. They were the bane of our existence when I was at Toledo. They had Randy Moss. Randy Moss and Chad Pennington were at Marshall when we played them, and yeah, they just always had our number, except for our last year, the year we went to the bowl. Um, and the year before we'd beaten them then too. But they play Thunderstruck when they come out, and it's really cool because they flash the lights. But I love all of the college football traditions. College football, it's way older than professional football. Professional football started like what's the NFL today really started as the Ohio Professional Football League in the 1920s and made it through 1930s and 40s and then turned into the NFL. That's why Canton is home of the NFL Hall of Fame. Um, who Squid lived in Portsmouth. That's where the Detroit Lions were founded. They were the Spartans back then. Uh, but that's where it all came from. But college football has a long and storied history. It was played only like 2 years after the end of the Civil War. Like, yeah, like that's where it comes from. So, very interesting. I love all those traditions. You know, I I know they're trying to make pro football happen overseas, but I love when they do a game in Ireland. I would love to see more teams do a game in Europe, college football teams do a game in Europe, and then, like start off the season mid August with a game in, Berlin or London or Dublin, or I'm trying to think like um, Barcelona, a lot of these places, because I that's really where the magic is for me. Like I'll watch the Lions, but I really don't care about pro football. There's only 32 teams in pro football. It's so easy, but when you get to college football, I think there's 130 teams in college football now. So I love college football. I love following it. Uh, BC versus ND is a big rivalry for us. Yep, yep. Um, Which, I grew up not too far from South Bend, so there were a lot of Notre Dame fans where I grew up. Uh, so here we are talking about college football on the show where I apparently have nothing to talk about, is what people tell me. I only talk about the leeches. Not a popular thing to say. American football is not football. You run with a ball, kick it once, and it's oval. Sorry, football ain't it. The rest of the world play football and a round ball, kick it. So, um, you know, you guys keep calling it American football. If I were you guys, I would call it. I would, like how we call European football, we call it soccer. You guys should probably call it like something like gridiron or something like that. Just to stop the confusion, because that's where people have a lot of like animosity, is just the fact that it's called football. Um, really, they they both were developed separately and called football separately at different times. So I mean that's why it's evolved that way. But if I were in Europe, I wouldn't call it American football. I would call it probably like gridiron or something else, just to reduce confusion. Because Americans will, you know, we play it on the gridiron. That's something that we've accepted. Soccer was actually it's a UK term. There were soccer clubs, and they were football teams. Uh, John Sauer for the U.S. Solicitor General. That one I'm a little bit shocked about, but hey, is what it is. Um, looks like Shizzy Wiznut has ended. I was tracking Shizzy Wiznut. I was going in there and checking to see if Bubbles was posting. Hey, we got let's see. So we've got 150 4 people in here, but we've only got 54 likes. Everyone hit the like button. I do appreciate it if you do. If you're watching on X, I see we got 45 people watching on X. Please retweet this. Share this out. I do appreciate it. Chores are calling. Auburn cannot make up their mind where their mascot is eagle or tiger. They could be the Tiger Eagles. I've always known them to be the Tigers. The problem is there's so many teams named the Tigers. Like, yeah, I would find a name for it, like its own name, or they could be the Griffins. It's a lion, so kind of a tiger. Rugby, football, and football are two different things. So my friends in the UK, some of them that I go visit, are from the town of Rugby, where rugby was invented. And yeah, if you shot Earth, it would cause the forensic. Try to learn about this event. I don't know what you're talking about though. If I shot Earth, she's your wife is getting an MRI and echo. Um, I wouldn't be worried about those. I would not be worried about those. Like I said, I've been through what you've been through, TC. Um, uh, there's a lot, like in the last 20 years, my dad had his things in the late double aughts. I think it was like 2008, 2009. And there's still been a lot of advancements then. And, I was amazed as to what, they had then. So I wouldn't worry too much. But we'll do what we can to help you. Rugby league, AFL, and soccer. Don't know how they can claim Tiger. That's LSU. Well, it's LSU. It's Clemson. Who else are the Tigers? There's a bunch of Tigers out there. Um, I did laugh that Houston. Uh, they they did a color scheme that looked like the Houston Oilers, but it was the University of Houston, the Cougars, and they were threatened by the Tennessee Titans that if you do that, you're going to get sued. Well, so Tennessee Titans are still claiming a copyright, or not a copyright, but a trademark on the Houston Oilers color scheme, and pretty much they've talked to their lawyers, and the University of Houston is saying that yeah, you can't trademark a color scheme. So they're literally doing the old Houston Oilers uniforms almost completely, but it says Cougars wherever it said Oilers. And they're saying no, this is an identity of Houston, not of your team, and your team left and abandoned it. So you've kind of abandoned the trademark in a way, which does happen. I come to you this morning to lift TC and his family up into your healing arms for you and heal them. Lord, in your name I pray, amen. Thank you, Wilborns. Thank you for that. The Missouri Tigers, which I've already talked about them. I had a coach who went and became their head coach. There's others too. There's several. Bulldogs and Tigers, I think, are the most used names in college football. The Demon Deacons, not so much. Only one team uses one Demon Deacons, one Fighting Irish, one Red Wave, yeah, no. There's the Golden Hurricane, the Mean Green. It's the Green Wave, but yeah, it's the Mean Green of North Texas. Um, trying to think of like other names. There's some weird ones out there. And I'm coming from Toledo, where we have the minor league baseball team, the Mud Hens. I've got my Mud Hens hat out in the car. And a mud hen, I forget the actual thing. It was a bird that likes to run around in the mud. I forget what the bird's name is. And Harley tried to patent us on. Yeah, yeah. Southern Illinois, the Salukis. Yes, at Nebraska, the Cornhuskers. Yeah, there's some unique names in college football. There's some bad ones too. Like there's some that like yeah. There's some that I'm like, really? That's your name? Like I don't get down on Virginia Tech being the Hokies. You just I do know I remember I read the story, like Hokie was a cheer, and then they determined that the turkey was gonna be their mascot, so that's how turkeys became Hokies. It's kinda like how Akron, um, you know, they were the zippers, which got shortened to the zips, and the type of shoe that was made with the zippers was the kangaroos, and that's how the kangaroo became the Akron Zips. It's now zip means kangaroo. It's like, okay. Uh, high school mascot is the Indians. My high school mascot was the Confederate. You know what's funny is we had a team in our high school. We had one team of the Cowboys, one team the Indians, and another team was the Rebels. And yeah, they used to have Confederate flags. Now they're not allowed to have the Confederate flag at their games. Uh, and uh, My team was the Titans. My high school mascot was the Titans. Our local college team name are the Gorillas. Um, Middle high school mascot was a Rebel. Yeah, they they became the Rebels, and now it's the team in high school. It's a Confederate soldier, but there's nothing delineating him as a Confederate soldier anymore. And the team that was the high school, the Cowboys, that team or that school closed, and I think the Indians have even changed their name, but yeah, they used to do all that. Who's TC? So TC is TC Pearson, who runs Minnesota Black Robe Regiment. You should subscribe to his channel. He's my co-host. We do a show every other Tuesday. We didn't do one this week because of his emergency. But yeah, we do, and that's the show that's we've been doing it for 4 years. I started it with another guy who backed out, then I did it alone, then TC came in. So Veteran Nation is this channel is called Veteran Nation because of that show. And there's been different, like it was Veteran Nation with the sergeant and the skipper, then it was Veteran Nation Unchained, and now I'm calling it Veteran Nation Live, uh, because I am the skipper. I know a lot of people call me Veteran Nation. I am the skipper. Veteran Nation is the whole channel. It is more than just me. And I've always wanted to find other veterans to do shows on this channel and help build their own brand. Um, because yeah, the Trojans, the Buffaloes. The Buffaloes is unique. North Dakota State is the Bisons. Uh, Spartans. Yeah, there's several Spartans out there. Confederate soldiers were far more honorable than the majority of the Union. I had a teacher in college, a professor who he was from Tennessee and he did a lot of research and he researched the Tennessee regiment from his town and they had reunions and stuff and he had showed me where they did a reunion and they thanked their Negro cooks, um, as part of their reunion. They had it like a special thing for their Negro cooks who traveled with them and cooked for them. And I thought that was interesting. Oh, you went to our high school changed names from Lee Davis to Mechanicsville High School. You went to Lee Davis? I had a bunch of friends who went to Lee Davis. Um, uh, yeah, the one has passed away, Michael Southward. Really great guy. Uh, Passed away young. Um, but yeah, he went to Lee Davis. I'm like 90% sure. They're all from Mechanicsville. I used to hang out there in Mechanicsville. When I was at Quantico, my roommate was from Mechanicsville. We used to go down there all the time. His family was the one with the land that backed up to the battle site of Cold Harbor. So they would find a lot of Confederate War relics on their property. Cat, get you just want attention. Get out of here. You don't need to be up here. Uh, all right, I'm gonna have to wrap things up in a few minutes. So, I everyone, please make sure you're liking, sharing, and everything. Yeah, Virginia has removed a lot of their history. I always thought it was really weird. Is it Monument Boulevard in Richmond there, where they have all these Civil War generals? Like you driving down and like every 200 feet, it's a new statue of a Civil War, and then at the end of it, they put one for Arthur Ashe. So like all these Civil War soldiers, and then this black dude with his tennis racket. I was like, that's hilarious, but it shows how times change and everything. Confederacy had a large contingency of freed black slaves that willingly and proudly served in their ranks. They did. Um, Surprised they didn't get rid of Virginia. Uh, yeah, good or bad history is history. Don't try and hide it. That's one thing I really liked about when I went to Moscow. They didn't take down any of their Soviet statues or anything like that. So it was really weird seeing like this worker statue showing like all these burly, men working, and it's all communist themes, and it's right next to an McDonald's and a Starbucks. That was, yeah, Monument Avenue. I always thought that was funny. Have Okay, Brett, have you been in downtown Richmond? There's a Barbie hotel now, and my buddy stayed in it, and he's like, "Dude, it's so weird." He enjoyed his time there, but he was like, "Yeah, TC, you don't need to be gifting memberships. Thank you, though. You guys, you've been unable to work with your emergency, so you don't need to be doing that." I finally like our Rumble is up working. I had a problem with it the other day; wouldn't work. I would. It's gone blue, but that's only Fairfax. There's a lot of votes up in Fairfax. It was really close. It was. I would say it's purple. It's purple again. Uh, I would go to the Shenandoah Valley. I really thought Winchester was a beautiful, beautiful city. In fact, I would go back to visit. Um, it's worth looking into. It's yeah. It's northwestern Virginia, and you got West Virginia that has its little arm right there, and it's not far into Maryland, but it's all Appalachia. But really nice. If you erase history, you're doomed to repeat it. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Um, well, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up, guys. I really do appreciate you guys being here. Look, there's gonna be like I said, the cocktail Veteran Nation cocktails or Veteran Cocktails is coming out later on today. So look for that. Will Burns, if you want to help me with a thumbnail for that, I'll appreciate that. So you guys can try our cocktail tonight. Is an after dinner cold coffee cocktail. It's called the coffee cocktail. Really easy to make. You just need brandy and Contro. So really easy one to make. Surprisingly refreshing. Surprisingly refreshing. Um, so yeah, I'll be doing that. Um, that'll be out this afternoon. Um, so just keep an eye open for that. That'll be coming out while I'm on the road. I like you guys having content for me if I'm not going to be around. So I have that, and then tomorrow I think I was when I'm putting out It'll either be tomorrow or Sunday. I've got clips of me at the Price is Right. I went to two tapings. The one I'm not like front and center, so there's not as much. I got to go through and clip that one. But for the one where I'm front and center, I knew that one would be a bear, so I went through that and I clipped it all last night. So that'll be coming out either tomorrow or Sunday. So look for that. I did not get told to come on down. So spoiler, yeah, I did not come on down, but I did have fun, and I will go back. uh, what's his name? Greg and Drew were super, super nice, very friendly. I love The Price is Right. I've loved it since I was a kid, and it was good to be there. And I will be going back. Um, so all right, folks, I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up. Thank you so much for all your support. Look out, we're going to be doing at least a fundraiser for TC, for his family. Keep praying for them. Keep praying for Yoda. We might even do a thing for Yoda. We just got to get permission. And me and Will Burns will be talking offline about how we want to set that up. So look for that from us, and make sure you subscribe to Shara Michelle. Make sure you subscribe. We want to get her subs way up, because we know there are people that hate that. And beyond that, thank you everyone for being here. And as usual, thank you for being worth serving.
Coffee brewing as the sun peeks through the haze, and birds are chirping, serenading morning's praise. The front porch creaks as dreams fade away. America's awakened to a brand new day. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleeping moon. Loose print smudges on fingers of grace. America's awaking at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore, morning in America, want just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awaking with a heart full of shine. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleeping moon. Newsprint smudges on fingers of grace. America's awaking at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore, morning in America, wanting just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awaking with a heart full of shine. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awaking with a heart full of shine. Tractors rumble, fields coming alive. Big wheels turning where hopes and dreams strive. Laughter echoes down the old dirt road. America's awaking to lighten her load. America's awaking to lighten her load.